Hi everyone. My name is Christy Ishii, and I am the program director for the Exploring Social Innovation program that will be happening February 8th to the 18th next year, 2023, in San Francisco and the Silicon Valley. And I'm going to be sharing a little bit about myself. We're going to be talking to you about the VIA company and how it got started, and also all the details about how to apply and what the program entails. So let me start by introducing a little bit about myself. Again, my name's Christy, and I am from California, born and raised here, and I went to school at the University of California, Los Angeles in Southern California. I studied American literature, which is basically English, and I minored in Asian American studies. So lots of writing in college. And for 4 years right after, I actually lived in Japan as an English ALT teacher in Gunma-ken in Tatebayashi, very small town. And after that, I moved to Tokyo, and I worked in Azabu as a recruiter for bilingual talents, and was also a chapter president at a nonprofit. And some things that I'm just really passionate about are actually sports and community organizing and health and wellness. So eating healthy and staying fit is really important to me. And that's a little bit about my background. We're going to actually introduce, I'm going to introduce, let our operations director introduce herself and then share a little bit about VIA as well.
Hi, everyone. It's nice to see you. So my name is Melissa. I introduced myself a little bit in the chat, but I've been with VIA since about 2015. And prior to coming to VIA, I actually also lived in Japan for a while. I was in Hokkaido from 2007 to 2012. So 5 years there as an English teacher also. And I'm looking forward to sharing a little bit about VIA with you today. So VIA was founded in 1963. That means that we are celebrating our 60th anniversary next year. And it was originally a program to send Stanford students to Asia for volunteer community projects. So the original name was Volunteers in Asia. In 1977, VIA started organizing programs for students in Silicon Valley. So we shortened the name to VIA just because it wasn't just students traveling out to Asia, but also students coming from Asia to Silicon Valley. And VIA is now an independent nonprofit organization that is based in the San Francisco Bay Area. We only have 7 staff members, so we're a pretty small organization, and that means that we focus on making really high quality experiences for our participants rather than trying to run many programs. We became an entirely remote team in 2020 due to the pandemic, and all of our staff live all over California, but mostly in the San Francisco Bay Area. And as an organization that has been around for 6 decades, we also have many alumni, over 10,000 from many different nationalities who live all over the world. Most are in the US or from East or Southeast Asia, but we also have alumni in Central and South Asia, in the Middle East and Europe and Africa as well. So when we can host in-person programs, we have programs in the US, Indonesia, Japan, Myanmar, Thailand, and Vietnam. So by joining a VIA program, you become a member of a very large, diverse community of participants and alumni around the world who are dedicated to becoming global leaders and innovators and trying to make the world a better place.
Thank you so much, Melissa. And while we're at it, I just want to also introduce somebody else who works for our company. If you just want to say hi, Wallace, I just want to give you the floor real quick.
Hi, everyone. My name is Wallace. I'm the Strategic Relationships Director at VIA Programs. It's really nice to meet you all, and thank you for joining us today.
Awesome. Thank you. So as y'all can see, we're, almost half the team, and we're really excited to see you and have you be here at this info session. It's an incredibly friendly organization, and that's kind of, the atmosphere that you'll be entering when you do join a program. And in particular, this Exploring Social Innovation program is really unique, especially to this area that we're living in California. So it's been around for about 12 years at VIA, and over 440 students and young professionals representing over about 20 different nations, actually. So all throughout Asia, Africa, Europe, and America have joined this program. And during ESI, some of the key things that you'll take away are learning about social innovation, meeting entrepreneurs, making international friends, and reflecting a lot on your personal and professional goals. And some of the objectives, we have about 5, but I'll go through them one at a time. One of them is exploring the social innovation field. And so what that really entails is learning and finding out, different ways that you can be a social innovator. And in doing so, you'll be engaging with different people, different ideas, learning about different issues around the world, maybe not just in your community, but you'll see there might be some similarities or differences in different parts of the world. And in addition to that, you'll gain a lot of hands-on experience. And what that means is hands-on experience using the social innovation tools, including design thinking, systems thinking, a lot of things that are conceptual and that you've maybe heard about, but didn't have an opportunity to actually, work on with a group of people or in a project. And another thing that's really important for this program that I think is also one of the biggest things in my life is actually personal and professional growth. Some of the biggest takeaways about your own self and other people happen when you get to leave what you're familiar with and go into, a setting that's new to you or just something that's not something you grew up in as a child. So taking advantage of the people that you'll meet in the sense of opportunities, just being able to be open-minded and use your cross-cultural skills to develop relationships and friendships. And sometimes this even leads to small ideas turning into a business that can actually impact and have a huge social impact on solving some type of issues in your community or across different cultures and countries as well. And the last objective is the network and joining a group of global change makers. This type of program's only going to attract people who are either see themselves as leaders or really know how to speak up for folks and want to make some type of impact, no matter how big or small the community is. Just this program attracts folks who are motivated, who are like-minded, and who have a lot of, empathy and passion for what they do, and a lot of kindness. And I would just say, in general, global leaders around the world are attracted to this type of environment because like minds kind of together just create a really, really great energy when you're all connected. So I want to also ask a couple questions before I move on in this presentation. But the location, as I mentioned, is a huge part of this program. So we're fortunate that the company, was founded out of a place in Palo Alto, which is near the Silicon Valley, near San Francisco. And I just want to ask you if you can type in the chat, what comes to mind when you see or hear the word San Francisco? You could just type in the chat. I'm curious what comes to mind for you. San Francisco, and if nothing for San Francisco, also the Silicon Valley. When you hear that word, what kinds of things come up for you? Maybe you've seen it somewhere, you've heard it. Stanford University. Yeah. Maybe you've seen it on TV or online or wanted to attend a program there. Anything else when you think of even travel-wise or tourism-wise? Is there anything that comes to mind when you when you hear San Francisco, Silicon Valley, IT, yeah. IT is definitely something that a lot of people talk about. And I think many companies, definitely, lots of IT companies, YouTube studio, okay. There's a lot, definitely. These are all very accurate. Golden Gate Bridge. I was waiting for someone to say that. Okay, so I'll move on now. Cable cars, I love that. So when we think of San Francisco and the Silicon Valley, we also think about diversity and creativity and innovation and entrepreneurship. So everything that you said is spot on to kind of like the deeper roots of these two places that we'll be going to during this program. So VIA's roots and the current ESI program are deeply connected to the diverse and innovative culture that makes the San Francisco Bay Area so unique. So San Francisco, as you know, it's very famous for touristy spots, the cable cars, the Golden Gate Bridge, Fisherman's Wharf, Chinatown. But something that a lot of people also get to experience when you're here in person is the large diversity and creative community that exists that you don't always see when you see it on like movies or when you see things on social media. And we explore in this program all the different details, like the intricacies of what happens at the organizational level, what happens with communities in San Francisco that are not so often shown necessarily on social media or shown, in movies that you see about San Francisco high level. And these things are stuff like organizations that are trying to address social challenges such as inequality, poverty, and sustainability, or even gentrification in these areas, because so often you see, all the positives and all the really touristy spaces and things like that, but there's a whole community that lives there, and everything that you see gets impacted at some point in time that a lot of people don't know about. And so in addition to that, the Silicon Valley, although its origin started much earlier, it actually became a huge IT innovation hub in the 1970s. And many of the founders of global tech companies located in Silicon Valley, you mentioned some of them like YouTube and Google, Yahoo, a lot of them got their start at Stanford, actually, and continue to inspire and attract a lot of people to the area. So this is a very unique program because you actually get to be in the same physical location that a lot of other innovators, entrepreneurs, but also just social innovators actually also had their start. So it's a very meaningful place to be. And this is an example of just a few of the site visits that have been part of programs, like past programs for ESI. And every year it is a little bit different. So you'll hear from a wide range of organizational leaders, and there are sometimes workshops that are hosted at these places. But as you can see, Stanford University, you already know, it sounds like some of you already know what that is. And they were founded in 1885, so over 130 years old. It's one of the largest campuses in the US. And there's also a lot of social enterprise organizations that help people in different types of communities as well. And additionally, there will be some visits to at least one large global tech startup so that you can really see firsthand what you might imagine, but you've never actually been able to go. So there might be a campus visit or something like that related to one of the large tech companies. And also the workshops and projects. So this is where you really get your hands-on experience The empathy building, creativity and risk-taking, innovation frameworks, and storytelling for change are all very key elements that you will get to develop more if you already have it, or it might be a new place for you to grow your strengths on a personal and professional level. And there will be a group project that people will be working together on during the ESI program. And there will be lots of workshops around, team building, building trust with others, various topics, but also design thinking and system thinking will be the longer workshops, but those will be definitely part of the program as well. And so a bit of intellectual, but also emotional empathy building type of workshops will be included. And let's see. So it's a lot of things I just said. So if you have any questions about the program, please do drop in the chat while I'm talking, or if you want to, you can even raise your hand and ask a question. But I'm going to move on to this question: who is a good fit for ESI? Kind of already talked about it, but basic requirements are that you have to be 18 or older by February 8th, 2023, have all your vaccinations and boosters, be able to travel to the US, and be committed to the entire length of the program. So it will be a full 10 days. And as far as interest and attitude, you've already met some of the people that work at VIA. I think this gives you a good idea of the types of people that we are interested in. However, just by definition, anyone who wants to explore a new area, a new place they've never been, meet and collaborate with other people from sometimes a different culture, but also could even be different parts of Japan. So you might meet people from different parts of your own country. And one of the biggest things is also to just be active in your mindset, so actively thinking about new things, be brave, be curious, and being open-minded. Those are the main core things that require, this type of, that we would require for this type of program. What's not required, though, is to have perfect English skills. That's not what this program's about. What's most important is that you're able to communicate your thoughts and your feelings, and be able to get a feel for other people, even if you don't know English 100% fluently. It's okay. And also, you don't need to know or have a whole lot of experience with design thinking and social innovation. Of course, it's helpful, but you're going to learn so much on this program. So the purpose of ESI is to really help you learn more about it and actually get involved and kind of build that as a skill set. And you do not have to have experience traveling abroad. This is going to be a very safe place for you. You'll be surrounded by a lot of other people who know this area very well, and we live here. So you don't have to worry about that, but you could always ask questions if you do have any prior to the program. And let's see. So, any questions so far before I move on? Any questions about being a good fit for the program, or how's everyone doing so far? That was a lot of information. Any thoughts, questions? Oh, yeah, go ahead.
Hello.
Hi.
Can I ask? The people who join this program is almost university student or more adult?
So that's a good question. And we have in the past had a mix of both, but usually universities will promote the program. So naturally, lots of university students know about it. But this program is for anyone who's 18 years or older. So it's still open to anyone. So you might meet, someone who's not a university student. It's a possibility. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for the question. Any other questions regarding the program before getting into the final pieces? All right. So this is just an example of a couple people who have been a part of the ESI program. And we just share this with you so that you can kind of see, other people's reasons for joining, because every person has a different motivation sometimes to join a program like this. So there's not one reason or one correct reason to join. This will just explain some of the possibilities. So Kazuya was a applicant who was going to Rikyo University, and he actually had friends who had gone on this program. So he was recommended by some past participants, and he really wanted to explore new things, expand his thought process, and be in a native English speaking environment. And now what he actually does is he pioneers innovative ways of learning English. And in his work, he motivates students to realize and achieve their dreams. So that's one example of how Kazuya used kind of this experience as an ESI participant. And we also have Apiwan, and she was studying statistics, and her reason for joining was a little bit different. So it was to build a stronger foundation in creative problem solving for social issues. And now she works in a startup company in Thailand to change the education system through design. So both of these people came in and were really excited, had big, open minds to the program, and they were both able to get out of it something that was related to their goals. So just keep that in mind, because during the interview process, we will ask you kind of what is your motivation for joining ESI? So this is just an example of some other people who have done the program. And let's see. And then I'm going to actually pass the mic to Melissa, and she's going to let you know about the important deadlines for the program. And I'll pass it off to her.
Great. Okay. So the final deadline for this year's or for next spring's program is December 5th Asia time. So that's in just over 2 weeks. Applicants who pass the initial screening will be invited to a Zoom interview with program staff. Most likely Christy will be doing the interviews. And then after the interview, you'll receive a notification of your results a few days later. And then we ask that everyone confirm that they plan to join the program within about a week. So we send the notice and then you would confirm back to us. And then after your confirmation that you want to join, then we begin the preparations to start enrolling in the program. And we hope to kind of complete that confirmation process by about mid-December. So it should only be about 2 weeks between when you complete your application and when we know if you're joining the program or not. And then we can go ahead to the next slide. Oh, I'm looking at the wrong screen. That helps. Let's see. So yes, the program participation fee is $2,900 US, and that includes the cost of hotels, the hotel accommodations for 10 nights in a shared room with another participant. And we try to pair up roommates from different universities or nationalities so that everyone gets the chance to meet someone new. The fee also includes all local transportation during the program, meaning buses to go around the city and things like that. And then all program activities. Breakfast will be included at the hotel, and then VIA will also provide a welcome lunch on the first day and a farewell dinner on the last night of the program. The fee does not include international airfare to San Francisco International Airport the visa or ESTA application fees, and travel insurance, which we require everyone to have, and other meals outside of the breakfast and then the lunch and dinner. All other meals are on your own. And then optional activities or any personal shopping that you would choose to do, as well as any COVID-related expenses, including any testing, treatment, quarantine, or travel disruption if you were to become ill. So some universities have a different program fee and include some of these expenses. So just check with your university. If you learned about the program through them, they might have some more information about the cost. VIA does offer funding to support participants who have a high financial need. And we also realize right now the exchange rate is not very good for Japan and the US. So we want to make sure that the program is still affordable. And we typically have awards between $300 and $1,500 US dollars available. In a few cases, we offer funding to cover the whole program fee, as well as flights, visas, and other costs. So in the application, the process is the same. If you want to apply for funding, you do the same online application, but there's a question in the application that asks if you would like to apply for funding. And then if you select yes to that question, you will be asked to submit a video essay instead of your written essays. So if you are interested in applying for funding, just be prepared to create a short video for your essays that you will submit with your application. So in the case of course, we don't know what's going to happen with COVID, so we want to have a plan just in case travel becomes difficult. If it's not possible for most of the participants to travel to San Francisco, then we may change the program to a virtual format, which we have done for the past few years. And then in that case, we'll adjust the program fee so that you're only paying for the virtual program cost and not the in-person program cost. So that would be, we would refund up to $2,000, and then the exact amount would be decided based on any discounts or any funding that you received for the program fee. If the program is canceled entirely, then we would fully refund your participation fee in the case of needing to cancel it for COVID.
So thank you so much for going over the details. And again, there will be a recording of this screen share. So if you do need to go back to it, or if you have any other questions, feel free to send me an email. If you have any other questions that weren't addressed here, but you'll also receive a recording from today's info session so that you can pause and kind of look at all the details on your own time.